The first capital city of Sri Lanka was Polonnaruwa and is the second oldest of Sri Lanka's ancient kingdoms. It was established in the 10th century after the country was invaded by a Chola dynasty. In 1070, Vijayabahu I of Polonnaruwa, also referred to as Vijayabahu the Great, surrounded the city and captured it from the Chola invaders. The city was referred to as Kandavarunuwara or Camp City in ancient times. The grandson of Vijayabahu I, King Parakramabahu, led the country into an era of great agricultural and economic development. The massive reservoir built by him, the Parakrama Samudra, an amalgamation of several smaller irrigation tanks, stands testament to the prowess of a hydraulic civilization way ahead of its time. The three monarchs who built Polonnaruwa to be a major political, religious and economic center are Vijayabahu I, Parakramabahu I and Nisankamalla. Today, Polonnaruwa has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is a great location to observe troops of the Tokmakak monkey who roam the ruins and the city. The ancient city of Polonnaruwa is one of the best planned heritage sites in the country and is evidence of sound city planning by the ancient rulers. Your visit could probably commence from the famed Potkul Vihare. This set of buildings is thought to be a Buddhist library complex where Buddhist texts were studied and passed down. It is believed that these structures were built by King Parakramabahu and has stood the ravages of time. The statue at Potkul Vihare is a beautiful example of stone carving and stands 3.5 meters high. Historians have conflicting views on the person who is depicted here. While some say it's the King Parakramabahu, others surmise that the figure, whose demeanor with beard, hair and clothing probably depict a sage or high priest. While there are around 50 important sites and ruins of structures scattered around this ancient city, this presentation briefly covers around 20 of the noteworthy ones. The audience hall of King Nisankamalla, a granite structure, would have had a wooden roof. The 48 stone pillars and carvings depict the positions of the officials who would have sat there. The remains of the majestic palace of King Parakramabahu I can be viewed when one first enters the ancient city. This building has walls a meter thick. There is evidence that the Chola invaders burnt down the palace at the end of the Polonnaruwa period. What has remained after this destruction has remarkably survived over another 8 centuries. Adjacent to this is the royal court building of the King Parakramabahu. This magnificent granite structure is a 3-tiered one with stone lions at the entrance. Ornate carvings surround the borders and tiers, and the entrance has a moonstone. Within this palace complex and passing the royal court, one can see the royal pond used by King Parakramabahu. This too is completely made of granite slabs. The Shiva Kovil is a structure with Indian influences. It is thought that the close-fitted granite blocks may have been brought from India, or that Indian stonemasons were responsible for the construction. There are several other kovils in the vicinity. dedicated to the deities Vishnu, Shiva and Ganesh. A complex of several Buddhist buildings known as the Sacred Quadrangle or Dalada Malua has several interesting anecdotes and historical facts. Starting with the Hattadage, a building which housed the tooth and bowl relics. The construction is credited to King Nisankamalla, we know through a stone inscription. There is a moonstone flanked by two beautiful guard stones at the entrance. The ground level has 3 Buddha statues. The Attadake Dalada Maligava was the location where the tooth relic was housed by King Vijayabahu. This structure has 54 stone pillars and remains of a granite staircase. The Vattadage is another beautiful monument with a small stupa in the center, flanked on 4 sides with Buddha statues and stone steps leading up to it. The location has some of the best examples of moonstones and guardstones from the Polonnaruwa era. In this complex lies a statue of a person, and it is conjectured that this is either a representation of King Nisankamalla or a bodhisattva. The Tuparama image house is one of the few structures where the room has withstood the ravages of nature. The light entering this structure was supposed to have reflected on the gem-studded statues and created a unique effect on the walls. The Nisanka Lata Mandapaya is a square building built by King Nisankamalla. The monument has a granite fence going around the perimeter. With a small dagaba in the center, its unique curved pillars are in the shape of lotus stems and flowers and form a centerpiece. The Otpilimaya is an ancient image house which has almost been totally destroyed by exposure to the elements. What remains are the bricks of what composed a Buddha statue, which was in a horizontal or resting position. The Galpota or stone book is a famous large granite inscription credited to King Nisankamalla. This massive stone brought to Polonnaruwa from another location has over 4,300 characters etched into it. The writings go on to describe the king and his credentials to fill his position. The Satmal Prasade or 7-storied palace building is an unusual structure. Little is known about this edifice other than the fact that it was built between the 11th and 13th centuries and may have been used for foreign soldiers. The Pabalu Vihare is a stupa believed to have been built by a consort of King Parakramabahu. The term Pabalu, meaning beads, was given as some were found during excavation. Numerous image houses surround this location. The Rankot Vihare is the 4th largest stupa in Sri Lanka and the largest in the Polonnaruwa area. Built by King Nisankamalla, this stupa is 55 meters in height and has a circumference of 185 meters. The Alahana Pirivana complex has a series of buildings. This great monastic complex built during King Parakramabahu's time had chapter houses, buildings, stupas, statues and image houses. While most have been destroyed over time, one can still see the splendor of some of these monuments. The Tivanka Pilamige was built by King Parakramabau I. It constitutes the most exuberantly decorated Gedige shrine at Polonnaruwa. Its uniqueness lies in the brick-built Buddha image standing in a relaxed posture, or Tivanka. This shrine has the splendid remains of murals depicting the Jataka stories and life incidents of the Buddha. The Lanka Tilaka shrine, the Alahena Pirivana, and the Manik Vihare complex are a few more of the vast complexes of buildings and ruins found over a large area within Polonnaruwa. Each of these sites have historical significance and amazing facts which cannot be browsed on a short visit. To explore these numerous monuments and appreciate the details, one would need several days. However, the place which many tourists don't miss is the magnificent complex and cave shrine called the Vihare. This set of awe-inspiring statues is now protected by a modern canopied roof. The seated Buddha in a tranquil pose of meditation is the first sculpture one encounters. The miniature Buddhas, together with the Vajra symbols on the pedestal, indicate a Mahayana influence. Next, a smaller statue of the Buddha, along with two deities, Brahma and Indra, are sealed as treasure hunters have attempted to deface these monuments. Next is a standing Buddha with crossed arms. This beautiful statue is 7 meters high. Finally, the statue of the Buddha at the time of his passing. The carving of the drooping earlobe and the misaligned feet are clues to this fact. This statue is 24.4 meters long. The resplendent nature of this site can be viewed on an adjacent hillock as one begins to contemplate the magnificence of the capital and the kingdom of Polonnaruwa, which flourished 900 years ago. Literary and archaeological evidence clearly shows the establishment of a center of political and religious authority and stands testament to the splendid rulers of the time.